Hey, what's up guys? Good morning, good afternoon, or good night depending on what time you are viewing these videos. Welcome to session 4 of Introduction to Linux System Administration. As always, I'll be your instructor, Kevin Downs. Today's session, we're going to be covering managing software and devices. Last session, we went over boot sequence, the systemd daemon, the systemctl command, targets versus run levels, modifying a target, service unit scripts, changing system states, booting into rescue mode, and shutdown commands. Today, we're going to be going over identifying software packages, using RPM to manage software, using yum to manage software, installing and removing software, identifying devices, displaying device and system information such as PCI and USB, plug-and-play devices, and device configuration tools. Let's start off with how to identify software packages. So if you prefer to use a graphical interface to view and manage packages in your system, you can use the package management tool, which is also known as Pyro. So this tool allows you to perform basic package management of your system through an easy-to-use interface to remove installed packages or download and install packages compatible to your system. It also allows you to view what packages are installed in your system and which ones are available for the download from the Red Hat network. In addition, the package management tool also automatically resolves any critical dependencies when you install or remove packages in the same way that the RPM command does. Okay, so let's say you install a package and it also needs some other things to be installed with it. It's going to go ahead and install whatever it needs to go along with it. Okay, guys, I would caution you to get used to using things in a graphical interface. As a sysadmin, you are rarely going to be doing stuff in the desktop or the GUI. You're going to pretty much live in command line. So I'll really get familiar with how to do everything in command line, okay? So let's take a look at our next slide. This is how we're going to be doing stuff in command line. So RPM is how you do stuff on the command line. RPM has 5 basic modes of operation, not counting the package building. So there's installing, uninstalling, upgrading, querying, and verifying. The first few kind of speak for themselves. Querying is how we look to see if a package is on a system. And verifying is how we make sure that package is actually installed on the system. So this section is going to contain an overview of each mode. For complete details and options, I would do an RPM-help to really see how to actually use that command. So before using any RPM packages, you got to know where to find them. An internet search will return many RPM repositories, but if you want to see a full list built by Red Hat, they can be found at the following locations. First one's going to be a Red Hat Enterprise Linux CD-ROM, which again is not something that's typically used anymore. So the much better place to look is going to be www.redhat.com/apps/support/errata. Okay, and that's where they're going to have all the repositories and you can find all the different packages you're going to need. Okay. So yum is how we're actually going to install and uninstall things. Okay. So yum is the primary tool for getting, installing, deleting, querying, and managing Red Hat Enterprise Linux RPM software packages from the official Red Hat software repositories, as well as other third-party repositories. Okay, so yum is used in Red Hat Enterprise Linux 5 and later. So versions of Red Hat Enterprise Linux 4 and earlier actually use something called up-to-date. Okay. The yum command cheat sheet for Enterprise Linux contains a reference card outlining the common use cases for the yum command. So if you just Google, a yum command cheat sheet, it's going to tell you a bunch of different ways to use that yum command, and that's really the best thing to do. You can print that out, and that way it'll give you a little bit of guide to look at each time you're trying to do a patching update or something like that. So you can use RPM or yum or DNF if you're using a different Linux distribution to remove software installed in your system. You can also use APT and DNF in various Linux distros. Guys, in Red Hat and CentOS, what you're going to be using is you're going to be using RPM and yum. That's the ones we're going to be using for that, okay? For Ubuntu, in our last course, we were using APT, okay? So it really depends on what Linux distribution you're using as far as what commands they use to update and install packages.